It's me, Corelli. Welcome to my channel. I'm waiting for it to kind of come through. Welcome to my channel. I'm Corelli, a singer, songwriter, a painter, and now also a writer. Today is my now regular weekly chit-chat live stream where I just communicate with people, with random strangers on YouTube, and I'm always eager to hear questions and to engage in interesting conversations. So this is the nature of this live stream. There's nothing serious is going on here. It's like really, you can show up, we can have a chit chat, just talk about this and that. So long as it is respectful and not toxic, we're fine. So today is one of those streams. Today's Wednesday, December 17th, I believe. I just made a post 3 days ago, was my anniversary of, back on December 14th, 2006, I started my transition. So now, in a way, you could say I'm 19 years old. Someone is watching already. How are you doing? Where are you from? What's up? I just announced the start of this stream. Today is amazingly warm, by the way. Yesterday was cold, today it kind of got warmer finally, which is cool. So 19 years ago, I started my transition. I started taking hormones on my own. It was quite the journey, I gotta say. Started taking hormones on my own back in Russia. I tried to do that through the doctors. The doctors wouldn't listen to me. It was all such a mess, really. And there was never any system in place in Russia to assist trans individuals on their journey. So I had to do everything myself. And I started myself. Then I did go through the doctors years later and kind of got it together on some sort of track. And then later, I started in 2006, and then in 2013, I had my first surgeries, and gosh, it's been a journey. It's been a lot of years, and here I am nowadays living in Kentucky, of all places. And yeah, gosh, still wondering how wild all of this is. Hi from Germany. Peter Abel says, hi to you from Kentucky. How are you doing? How's it going on in Germany? Oh yeah, I see someone already started saying something. And you know, I usually Gold D Roger. Hi to you. How are you doing? What's up? Betty Amoedo says, hi to you. Nice to see you, and thank you for the likes on my stream. I really appreciate it. How are you? Well, I'm doing pretty good. Mania Big Delis send some flags. Fine. Fly next week. Las Vegas. Just chilling. Love from Switzerland. Love to you from Kentucky. How's it going on in Switzerland? Do you have like permanent winter there? I think no. You probably have some summer too. Merry Christmas season. Thank you very much. Greetings from Alaska, US. Wow. I'm down here in Kentucky. We're actually having almost 60 Fahrenheit right now, so it's a warm day. It's wonderful. Gold D. Rogers says no. So it's okay. Just when I think about Switzerland, I'm thinking about like snowy peaks, and I'm thinking about Mont Blanc and Matterhorn and this sort of things. Right now it's cold. Well, it's December. It's probably very snowy. I'm just guessing. Guys, thank you for the likes and thank you for showing up. I really appreciate this. Cool, it's minus 43 here. Minus 43, well, minus 43 Fahrenheit or minus 43 centigrade. In Alaska. God, this is crazy. But in March and April time, all snow go away and you can see mountains. Oh my gosh, I want to travel to Switzerland. I talked about this on this channel, and I want to move to Greece. And I think that once I move to Greece, I want to travel all around Europe. I've been to France briefly, to Nice, and I would really love to come and see Switzerland. I just know that it is a very beautiful country, and I'd love to come and see it. I'd love to come and paint. Seriously, I take my oil paints with me, and I'd love to come and do some plein airs. Seriously, grassy and sunny weather. That should be gorgeous. If you visit Swiss, please try chocolates. I absolutely will. As a matter of fact, I'm learning to do my own chocolate nowadays. But, well, homemade chocolate is homemade chocolate. I'd love to really try the real Swiss chocolate. I like chocolate a lot. Celsius and Fahrenheit are pretty same at -40. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Untamed Tyrant. Yeah, so you're in Alaska. I'm originally from Russia, from Moscow. I immigrated to the United States 7 years ago, almost 7 years ago. And so currently I have Fahrenheit on my phone, and I just switched back to centigrade on my laptop. And so I'm familiar with both scales somewhat, and I know that at some point it kind of doesn't really matter. When it's too cold, it's all the same, really. Goldie Roger says, nice. I'll be more than happy to come to Switzerland, frankly. Yes, I'm openly MTF, and hey, I've been in transition for 19 years, and at this point, it's like I don't really care what people think about me. I can't bother about this, you know. I've seen quite a few things in my lifetime. I went through a whole bunch of stuff back in Russia as a trans woman, and so, you know, at this point, whatever. If you want to see snow, well, like I said, I'm from Russia. I'm well familiar with snow, but I've never been to the mountains, and I don't know what it's like snow in the mountains, but I'd like to see that. It's cool. Alaska was Russia too before. Yeah, you're right. Exactly. That was Russia too. History is amazing, isn't it? Did the state get you? No hate, just compassion. The state, you mean, did my homeland, you mean Russia, did they get me? Or what do you mean? I just don't think that I understand you very well. We support you, don't listen about others. Thank you very much. Cosmodex said hi. Hi to you. Forced MTF? No, I'm not forced. No. Okay, let me tell a little bit of my backstory so that you guys know what I'm talking about. Life is a journey, not a destination. Yeah, that's true. So I sort of always knew that something is off with me. And once again, I'll reiterate for those who don't know, I've immigrated to the United States from Russia almost 7 years ago. But as I was growing up in Russia, I knew that something is off with me, and it's been a quest that I was just trying to resolve. I didn't have any information. Back when I was a teenager in the 90s, this whole trans thing, it wasn't a trend at all. Nobody was talking about this. In Russia, there was a whole lot of things going on, and like, no, this wasn't a thing, you know what I mean? But I knew that something is off with me. And then finally, when I got access to the internet, and that happened around 2004, and I started looking up things, and I, got access to information. I learned that, when I discovered that that's what it is, I was pretty shocked. And I wouldn't say that I was very happy about this. I just learned that it looks like that's what I am, and that was weird. And then it was just a long journey from there on, when I was trying to, despite the realities of Russia, I was trying to get my way. I was trying to make some adjustments to myself. I was battling the legal system because I was trying to straighten out my legal gender back in Russia, and that never happened back in Russia. So it's been a train wreck. The doctors, the hormones, all of this, it was a complete train wreck. And just so that everybody understands, I've started doing this 19 years ago in Russia. It wasn't because it was a trend. It wasn't because it was some sort of hip thing to do at the time. No, it wasn't. I'm one of those people who went on this path because there was no other path for me. And that was the only honest thing to do. And I wanted to live my life in congruence with myself. I didn't feel like I wanted to lie for the rest of my life and pretend that I'm someone else. That's why I started this journey. And then 7 years ago, I landed in the United States. Here, it seems not to be that big of a deal, and whatever, you know. So that's what it is. My story in short. Present moment, presence. Okay. We have mountains in Alaska too, the biggest in North America. And I haven't ever been to Alaska. Perhaps I should travel there. Trans has always existed, just not as forced as now. I've met my female side in dreams, but I remain in my truest form. Glory to the Creator. Yeah, trans has always existed. Yeah, exactly. Officer Donut. Yeah, so you get it. You understand what I mean? And it's been around, it's just that in recent years, I learned that how far back in human history did this exist? It's always been around. It's just that, yeah, nowadays there is a lot of propaganda. There is a lot of pushing this thing on people. And I think that it's very unhealthy. A couple of years ago, this YouTube channel has been very different. I was doing a series called Cat Talks where I would sit and I would talk about, I was doing social political commentary. I don't do this anymore, really. But I ragged on this for a while, about 2-3 years ago. How's the Christmas prep going on, by the way? Well, I got to say, I was pretty busy. So I didn't really start prepping with Christmas. I painted a painting recently and I put it out in my Etsy store. I have a print there. It's kind of a Christmas themed painting, but it's satirical. And if you get the satire, if you can get a laugh out of this, then you get it. And I don't mean any offense with this painting, but it's a Christmas painting. That was basically my artistic way to get to do the Christmas prep. Good, you can speak about this. Always good to get things off the chest. Yeah, and frankly, I don't see a reason to conceal the fact that I'm a trans woman. I think that nowadays, at least, because of the messiness of this subject, because of how much it is pushed through the media and through everything, some clarity is really needed. And maybe someone like myself, who just has the mileage and the experience, should speak about these things openly, without holding anything back, without making it into a political issue. This is not a political thing altogether. It has nothing to do with that. So I'm just being honest and upfront about this. And some people will like it, some people won't like it. Some people get triggered with this, whatever it is. So about the Christmas prep, well, there is that painting right behind my back over there. Gosh, there is the glare. So, let me turn the camera and I'll show you. Yeah, there's this painting. The print for it, I just posted the print for it on my community tab, yesterday, I believe. This is this painting, the Christmas one. It's satirical. Read the description. And this is another new painting. This is a girl from Gaza. She's doing a lot of charity work there, and I just felt that I wanted to paint her. And this was a recent study for this painting. So basically, my Christmas prep mostly has to do with just a lot of painting. That's how it goes. Yeah, nothing we can do about the world. A lot of nonsensical worry. Yep. Thank you. Wow, nice detail. Thank you very much. I usually sit here every week and I just have a little chit chat stream with people. I invite conversations on whatever topic, so long as it is respectful and civil. It's all good. But I also have to say that I'm a singer-songwriter and I'm a painter and now also a writer. So I usually, of course, invite people to check out my channel and see what I got. I have artwork, I have music, and there is a lot in my community tab. You can just click through it and browse. Oh, you started shepherding goats this week. That's awesome. How is it actually? Is it difficult or no? The Star Hats says hi to you, the Star Hats. Nice to meet you. I see there are 10 people here, guys. Thank you for the likes. I really appreciate this. Thank you for everybody who is showing up. I'm doing this weekly thing, and I found some amazing people on my live streams just through these conversations. And there is a darker side to modern technology, but then there is also a good side to modern technology. And I think this is one of the great aspects, that we can just sit here from all around the world and just have a nice conversation. What did I want to say? I want to ask about the goats. Is that a difficult thing? Because I really want to move to Greece, and I'm thinking that I want to land somewhere close enough to a big city like Athens or Thessaloniki, but I'm thinking about that I would really like to have some goats, maybe, and maybe a couple of goats, and maybe a donkey, something like this. If I have a piece of property with some land and a house, then it would make sense, you know. So I'm just wondering how difficult it is to deal with goats. I love animals. I mean, goats are beautiful, and sheep are beautiful, and donkeys are amazing, but I never dealt with them, you know. Lots of running in the hills and yelling. Oh my God. It kind of reminds me of my cats. I have 13 cats here. Me and my husband, we have 13 cats. Don't ask me how did this happen. It happened because we weren't in time to fix the boys, and so then there were a lot of cats. So in summer, we let the boys out for a walk, usually in the morning, and then we have to round them up every evening, and it's a lot of yelling, it's a lot of calling, and a lot of collecting. So I guess, yeah, collecting goats is a lot like this. Interesting viewpoint. Hello there, says Falcon Guy. Falcon Guy, I remember you. Thank you for showing up again. It's a big herd, but they are very smart. It's a big herd. And they're very smart. That's interesting. I know that horses are very smart animals. I had some experiences with horses. I know that crows, because I lived with a crow when I was a kid. For 8 years, I was growing up with a crow. They're very intelligent birds. And I love to build relationships with animals because I'm into animals, apparently. And so it's kind of cool to know that ghosts are very intelligent creatures. Oh, lots of work in all females. Oh my God. And Officer Donut, where do you live? Are you in the US? What state are you from? I'm living here in Kentucky. I'm living in the boondocks, which is a completely wild experience for me, even after 7 years, because I'm from Moscow. I'm a big city girl. And so I'm living here, and literally our neighbors, they have horses, and then those neighbors over there, they have a donkey and they have sheep. So I'm pretty blown away with all of this. I just saw it. Welcome to Dairy, new episode. It's really horrified. Welcome to Dairy, new episode. It's really horrified. The babies are very cute, but I watched 9 baby males get slaughtered because they don't make milk. Very heavy, but it's food too. Oi, that's the part that I don't know if I can tolerate. And this is I know it's a controversial topic for a lot of people. I eat meat. I do eat meat. I can't live without meat. But I never witnessed in person the the slaughtering of animals, and I don't want to witness this. So I am in this strange position where on one hand I depend on eating meat, on the other hand I it's kind of I have to do some mental acrobatics to maintain this. I don't really know what to do about this. I know that I won't be able to slaughter any animal, and I don't want to slaughter any animals. So probably I would have a couple of female goats, and that's it. And but then again, I'm not a farmer, so I'd have to wrap my head around this. And how do you go about these things? I have no idea. Let me catch up with the comments. Flacon talking to me, are you? Oh, okay. You guys are talking, yeah. Yeah, it's a movie web series named. Okay. Vinya Kardikor says, where are you from? Originally I'm from Moscow, Russia. Currently I'm living in Kentucky, United States. Where are you from? Vinayak. I don't know how to read your handle. Yeah, nature is heavy. Yeah, supermarket, everything meant to make you docile by design. Yeah, that's true. That's true, and I completely agree. And I talked about this previously. I've learned a lot about healthier foods and on how unhealthy foods are after I moved to the United States 7 years ago. It's a huge topic. Some people are in denial, but that's what it is. If you want to live healthier, it comes with a cost, unfortunately. Oh, you're talking to Catherine. Okay, so Falcon Guy, I'm sorry, then I didn't understand. What? It's a movie, a web series name. Welcome to Dairy, new episode. It's really horrible. So you're just saying that you're watching this. Okay, I get it. I'm from India, but now in Western Africa. Wow, in Western Africa. What are you doing in Western Africa? Did you immigrate or are you working there? How is it in Western Africa? I've never been there. Oh, you're from Canary Islands. Canary Islands. Now, I'm not going to say that my geography is stellar, but Can you please remind me where the Canary Islands are? I think I'm blanking out on this right now. Aritzbot says, hi to you. I will suggest you Google it. This is really interesting horror movie name. Okay, I'll Google it up. Spanish archipelago off coast of Morocco. Wow. Hey, I gotta say, you're living in an interesting place. I know where Morocco is. Okay, now I get it. So the Canary Islands, yeah, it rang a bell, but I just can't pull it from memory. Okay, so that's close to Spain. And it's basically at the mouth of the Mediterranean Sea, right? I'm wondering what kind of goat do you have there? I was just recently really craving. I was looking up and telling my husband about a Spanish meat called jamon. And you, Officer Donut, you probably heard about it. You probably even tried it and ate it. If you're so close to Spain, then you would know about jamon. Basically, fresh goat cheese. Fresh goat cheese is wonderful. Jamon serrano, yeah, I miss it so much. I tried jamon when I was living back in Moscow. But Moscow is a huge city and there is a lot of things going on, so you can basically find anything. And so I was to this food exhibition back in the year 2010. A friend invited me, and they had one of the food producers. They were Spanish. at this food expo, and they had a hamon and they had some wine, and oh gosh, it was so delicious. A real hamon is just so good, I gotta say. And ever since then, I just miss it. I love stuff like this, you know. And so recently I was just telling my husband about like how hamon is made and what a wonderful meat it is, and that we got to get some. It's expensive here in the United States, really. I'd love to get some of it. And now you're talking about the Canary Islands, and that's right next to Spain, as it turns out, and it just reminded me. Moscow City has amazing architecture. Oh yeah. Have you been to Moscow, actually? Moscow is the capital of Russia. Yes, that's the capital of Russia. Ari's Pot says, I live in Kashmir. How is it in Kashmir nowadays? I know that there was some unrest going on. Like there was that thing between Pakistan and India recently. Are you in the safe? Are you doing fine there? How are you? Moscow is the capital of Russia. Yes, Falcon Guy. And if you have a chance, please come visit Russia. Come visit Moscow. And just experience it, really. I usually tell everybody, because it's my hometown. Moscow is my hometown, and I love this city, and I miss my hometown a lot. I usually invite people to come visit and experience it for themselves. How are you doing this time? A little tired. I had a couple of really hard days, early wake-ups, very early in the morning, and I'm a night person, so it was difficult. Just got one of the cats from the vet today. Had a boy neutered, had to wake up at 7:30 in the morning. To me, this is crazy early, really. Officer Donut says, just local big cities, but a lot of the old architecture was erased, sadly. Yes. I always feel horrible when some old architecture or old landmarks are being wiped out. There is something that saddens me profoundly. Recently, I looked into the city of Palmyra. I don't know if you pronounce that in English like this. The city of Palmyra in Syria. This is an ancient archaeological site, and it is being robbed and decimated constantly by Al-Qaeda. And this is just so horrible, you know? And there is all this unrest going on, and all these people that are suffering. And then simultaneously, there are, you know, these, let's say, colonial powers like the British, who stole a lot of artifacts from the Middle East. They stole a lot of things from these ancient cities, which are, you know, it's a treasury of human history. And a lot of it was robbed. And same goes about India. I'm well aware of how much was stolen by European powers from India. It's just so disgusting, frankly. And so when, you know, these ancient archaeological sites and landmarks and old statues and, you know, something that bears the history of humanity, when that is being robbed, when that is being bombed, decimated, it's just, I don't know. I feel so horrible about it. I love cat. Yeah, cathedral demolition. This is, it's horrible. Yeah, a lot of programming with making Moscow seem scary, but I'm sure it can be wonderful, like everywhere we can stand and perceive. Yeah, that's the thing. There is this relentless propaganda coming from the West about that Russia is so scary and, you know, oh, no, it's just not true. You know, there are things that I'm not comfortable with in Russia. I lived there for 40 years of my life. I have a difficult relationship with my homeland, but I love my homeland, of course, because I'm Russian. However, I gotta say that, you know, after almost 7 years in the United States, I've learned to look through the propaganda, and now I can see it. And virtually, I don't know, 95% of everything that is being said to Westerners about Russia is just BS. So I invite people to go and visit for themselves, to see for themselves. Moscow is a clean city. uh, yeah, there is some crime, but it is nothing compared to New York City, to LA, to Chicago, to it is nothing compared to that. Yes, we had some wild times in the 90s. That was a wild decade. The whole country was falling apart. But this was, what, 30 years ago? It's all gone. Russia, as of today, is a modern country with amazing infrastructure, with polite people, you know, with clean streets and cities, you know. So I invite people, go visit for yourself. If you don't believe me, I don't know, look it up on the internet. Go to Telegram, watch some Russian channels, and just look at, you know, what people are posting, you know, videos from how do they live, you know. And I believe that a lot of people's minds would be blown away just with the sheer difference between what is being said about Russia vs what is actually going on in Russia. Cathedral demolition, yeah. I love cats too. Oh yes, and imagine how much was erased that has been kept secret. Yeah, I can't even start to contemplate. You know, I look into these things occasionally and I just realize that how many times history has been rewritten, I don't even know. There's a lot of things. I keep digging all this time because, and the reason for that is because when I came here to the United States, there were some things that started to blow my mind away. I was a completely different person when I came here. You could say that I was, I don't know, I was oblivious. And then I came here and, you know, COVID hit in 2020. Then there was this unrest in American cities, and that was completely wild to me. I couldn't understand this. Then there was the presidential election of 2020. And then because those things were going on, it urged me to start digging because I wanted to find out the truth. And when I started to dig, this is when all of that programming that I was receiving while I was in Russia, while I was a teenager, while I was on the receiving end of US propaganda, all of that programming started to fall off. And so, you know, a lot of things happened between when I came to this country and where I am now. And I've learned a lot, and frankly, sometimes I think I wish, you know, I didn't know as much as I do know. It's dirty, it's ugly, and I'm learning to live with this, with the knowledge of this reality. But the actual reality is pretty nasty. Let me put it this way. I saw on YouTube Ostankino Tower, which is, I guess, most interesting place in Moscow. No, it is one of the places in Moscow, but that's by far, it's not even, it's not the most interesting place in Moscow. There is a lot to see in Moscow, I'm telling you. There is, of course, the Red Square and the Kremlin. There is a lot of historic sites. There is a lot of museums. There is a conservatory, a lot of historic buildings, a lot of historic churches, a lot of modern buildings. There is the Moscow City, which is an ultra-modern sort of place in kind of a center-north part of central Moscow. There is a lot to absorb. There's a lot of theaters, a lot of historic, museums and places and galleries, and all of it is full of history. There are beautiful boulevards. There is the Moscow River. There's just so many things. Ostankino TV tower, that's just one artifact out of many, I'm telling you. I subscribe to your channel and also thank you very much, Vanayak Card Decor. The quality of life has degraded ridiculously, yes. Been to Russia, St. Petersburg, Moscow, Kazan, Novosibirsk, Kamchatka, Sakha. It was great. Oh, Untamed Iron, gosh, I'm so glad that you've been there and you've seen it for yourself. So you understand what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. It's one thing to listen to what politicians are telling you about a country. It's a whole different story to actually go there and see for yourself. What does this mean? 67, everyone likes 67. I don't like who made 67. What time do you have now? It is Gosh, it should be around 4:30 right now, 4:30 p.m. Officer Donut 6 plus 7 equals 13. This top at 9. I also subscribe and like. Thank you guys very much for subscribing, for liking. I don't know. Today I'm talking about everything in the world, I guess. Almost everything. But I appreciate everybody showing up and engaging in a conversation. 67. What are you guys even talking about? Why 67? Where did this come from? Untamed Tyrant, yeah. And you will be surprised. I'm a Muscovite, and I've never been to Novosibirsk. And now that I've immigrated to the United States, I can't tell you how much I want to go see my friends back in Moscow. I miss my relatives. I miss my friends a lot. And I'm thinking, once I go travel back to my hometown of Moscow, I want to go ahead and travel all around Russia. All the places that I've never seen, all the places that I've never been to, I want to go and see that. Immigration is probably one of the bizarrest experiences, really. There is a great deal of sadness to it, and there is also a hidden benefit to this. I think it's a transformative experience because it allows for a completely different perspective. I think that an immigrant doesn't see their home country in the same way anymore. That there is some sort of transformation going on, and it teaches you to appreciate things that you previously did not appreciate. It gives you a whole new perspective on life, I think. At least that's what I feel. Now Western Africa time, now 9:35 p.m. in Sierra Leone. Oh, okay. Well, with fish, let me scroll back a little bit. In my city now is 12:33. Oh, did you see the big text I sent, or did it get blocked? Gosh, I suspect that it might have gotten blocked, and now I don't see. I'm scrolling back the chat. Gosh, I just don't see anything. No, I don't see it. It's just not in the chat. Let me get back here. Here was your text about a lot of programming with making Moscow seem. Yes. How much was erased? Yes. Subscribe to your channel. Yes. The quality of life has, yes, degraded. Then there was 67. 9. I also subscribed and like. No, I don't see that text. In my city now, it's 12:33 in night. Yeah, that's quite a time difference. Well, we fish in Bering Sea and meet Russians regularly. Hey, Untamed Tyrant, I believe that Russians and Americans, actually, there is absolutely no reason for us to hate each other, to dislike each other. I so don't like it that there is this Cold War mentality that is still there. I would like for that to go away, frankly. We fish in Bering Sea and meet Russians regularly. That's a good thing. I think there should be friendship. But this is generally how I think about things. I know that evil is real in the world. I know that there are real entities, and I don't want to get banned on YouTube, all right, guys, but there are certain forces, let's put it this way, who work daily on fomenting wars, proxy wars, conflicts, hatred, but I would like to see more people around the world and nations around the world to be friendly to each other, and I think that people would benefit tremendously from it. It's just that there are real evil forces behind the scenes. The untouchable cast of people who they work to separate us all. That's what I think. First channel on YouTube live where a human talk like a human and not a zombie or 10 IQ person. Jeremy or I, someone creative. I'm just me. And thank you, Jeremy. I am a real person. I'm not playing any games. I'm flesh and bones. That's what I am. Now Western Africa time now 9:35 p.m. in Sierra Leone. Well, it's a little closer to where I am. I mean, 5 hours difference almost. Yeah, truth bombs don't go through. Yeah. Same with all nations, not just USA and Russia. Yes, correct. Same with all nations. I believe that on some level, all of us people all around the world, we're not really that different from one another. We're all human beings, regardless of race, skin color, ethnicity, or whatever. On a basic level, we're all just human beings, and I think we can find understanding, and we can enjoy each other's culture and heritage, and benefit from cultural exchange, and collaborating, cooperating, doing wonderful things together. And I think that's what we should be doing as human beings. Many resets. I found physical evidence of at least 2 and evidence of wars in places that have been taken out of history. Big rabbit hole, a lot of misinformation because the truth is beyond powerful. Yep, I came across things like this. I looked into it. It's very difficult to dissect the truth from misinformation on that level of things, because it looks like misinformation, layers of misinformation and lies, they're kind of dumped all the time, and there's just a lot of distractions. I think that it stands to reason that the truly powerful people, they would want to distract the masses from finding out the truth, and they will stop at nothing to do this. They will separate us. They will draw wedges between us. They will make us hate each other. They will make us fight each other over something completely ridiculous that doesn't even make any sense, only to divert our attention from the real stuff. So it's a rabbit hole. And I know that there is a whole lot of these rabbit holes really to go. Today here a bad day. Why is it so? Aries Bob. Whoa, why is it a bad day? It's idealistic, and yeah, a lot of darkness. We are working while they are set up and can mess with us. Yes, it's somewhat idealistic, but I know that the world probably is never going to be a perfect place, but I do believe that there are things that we can do to prevent this world from just going to hell. It's an ongoing struggle. It's an ongoing battle, and it's been like this for thousands of years. There have been always people who wanted to retain control. Some of that governance is needed, I think, and that's open for debate. It's a huge topic to discuss. But some of those people who happen to be in power, they used thousands, millions of people as cattle, basically. And they continue doing this in modern times. The 20th century alone is it's such a wild thing. When you start to look into World War II, the origins of that, and then you go back to World War I, and you find out a lot about the plotting behind the scenes and the real reasons for those wars. This is so disgusting. It's so disgusting. And it's very easy to lose faith in humanity if you really look at the facts. Because it's just, I don't know. When I started looking into this, it just completely blew my mind. And sometimes you learn something and it's hard to sleep at night after those things. That's how ugly it is. And, you probably know this because you're digging into things. You know that it's extremely disturbing. Many resets have found physical evidence of at least 2. And evidence of wars, yes, because the truth is beyond powerful, yep. I copied it and split it. I'm going to sleep now, so good night, foreign friend. Nice to talk with you. Vinayak Kardakor. Thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. Hi, Olivia. Olivia, thank you. I'm so happy to see you. Pardon me. I'm just catching up on the chat here. Yes, separation is false. We're not separate. Consciousness is universal. Yes, I totally agree with you. I got my print in the mail today. Ima unboxed it later. Oh, I'm so happy. Finally, after all of these days. I don't know, guys, whatever's going on with USPS. Several people ordered prints with me in late November and around Thanksgiving. And just it sat there forever. And I was getting really frustrated with this. And I had some people reach out to me on Etsy and asking me like, oh, what's going on? I guess it's just USPS is overloaded this time of year because everybody is probably shipping stuff for Christmas. I don't know. So Olivia, I'm very happy that finally you got the print. Yeah, distractions 100%, yep. And target those that do know the truth, yes. So we got to be very careful with what we say and yep. Olivia says, yep, yes, exactly. John Kennedy Ukachi says, hi to you. You still like to eat. So you still like to eat kutia on Christmas. Why did this message got hidden? I have no idea. Held for review. Why? What is about this message? What's so kutia for Christmas? No. I don't have, necessarily a fixed sort of meal for Christmas. I like to cook a cabbage pie. And this is not because of any tradition. It's just because I personally like to I like to cook a large cabbage pie with a 10 of eggs or a dozen of eggs in it, a whole cabbage. It's a huge cabbage pie. It's delicious. I like to throw in some mushrooms there too. And guys, if anybody's interested, I can tell my recipe for the cabbage pie in the community tab, a little later when I'm off this stream. A step-by-step instruction. That's usually what I like for Christmas. Good evening, John Kennedy. Yep, I have had Rustan, Israeli, Ukrainian, Russian probably, Israeli, Ukrainian, Japanese, Nigerian, Algerian for dinner at home. Not once I felt like our mentality made it impossible to be friends. Exactly. So we can be friends. Only that in this current reality, the degradation from generation to generation is getting worse. There is that too, yep. And unfortunately, brainwashing is getting a lot more sophisticated. Hi, I'm live from Uganda, age 30 years. You live from Uganda, age 30 years old. I'm a Ugandan. I need a job. If someone can connect, please, so I can give out my number. Maruti, I'm sorry. This is not what this live stream is about. I think you're misplacing your message a little bit. Oh, I'm late. Oh, Patty the Fly. Patrick, hello, greetings to you. Olivia says, it's Christmas, lots of mail. Yeah, exactly. Guys, I'm sorry, I'm catching up with the chat. Yeah, exactly. Nah, it was pretty quick. Falcon Guy says, but what about Christmas cakes? Which type of cakes you like most? Patrick says, bring on the good recipes. And Officer Donut, subscribed, enjoyed listening, got to wake up early tomorrow and go through the dream realm. Oh, the dream realm. Yes, I think you will understand me on that level too. I caught up on all the chats finally. Okay, guys, now I can kind of breathe. What about cake? I love cakes, but here's the thing. This year, I consciously started to cut out sugary stuff out of my life. Really, it's not that I don't eat sweet stuff at all, but I have to be like really aware of this. And the reason for it is because whenever I go shopping locally, like to a local Walmart or Lowe's or something like this, I have a glaring reminder every time because I look at the people who live here and like, I don't want to put anyone down, but just what I see is that people generally are not healthy around here. They eat a lot of deep fried stuff here in Kentucky. Olivia, tell me, is it different in Colorado or no? Because around here, a lot of people, it seems to be like, I don't know, they eat deep fried everything. A lot of greasy stuff, a lot of sweet stuff, and a lot of it is so unhealthy. And I see these people, I see a lot of obese, overweight people in places like Walmart and Lowe's and Ollie's and all this. And to me, it's a constant reminder that if I don't cut out certain foods out of my diet, if I rely on the standard American diet, which abbreviates to SAD, then I will screw up my health, and then I will age faster, and then I will probably get overweight. I might develop diabetes, or God forbid, I develop cancer or something, and I just want to be healthy. So for that reason, I know it sounds like I might be overreacting, but cakes and sweet stuff, like, it's not that I'm like, I banned it for myself. I probably can have a piece of cake, that's okay. But I'm not eating this constantly. And like I said, I don't have a fixed tradition for Christmas, like I have to make a certain dish or something. I just, kind of go with whatever I feel like cooking. There's still a lot of obesity even here. Well, Untamed Tyrant, that's cool. We like to have some caribou, whale, and king crabs on Christmas and some other fish. God, I love fish. Gosh, I would like to get some of this. Can you tell me, Untamed Tyrant, can you recommend, is there like some sort of local Alaskan producer who has an online store so that, I don't know, anything you can recommend? Like an online store where someone like me from Kentucky, so that I can order some king crabs, some caribou, some whale. Is there anybody like this? Or whom do you distribute to? Where can I get this stuff? I'd like to try it, frankly. Though it's one of the fitness capitals of the US. Yeah, Olivia, I hear you. Patrick says you will be very happy with the food in Greece. Very delicious cuisine with great food, natural foods. I bet I'm going to be very happy with that. Eat whale? Olivia asks. I heard that, yeah, you can eat whale and you can eat shark. Am I correct? Yes, that's a delicacy here. Wow. I know that that shark meat tastes like beef. Is that true? I never tried shark meat. I don't know. I love fish. I'm a huge fan of, gosh, what is it called? Ice fish? Ледяная рыба in Russian. It's called something different in English, but it comes from the coast of Chile. I love pollock. Big fan of pollock. Shark is sold under a different name. Okay, I didn't know. But you can't go heavyweight by eating sweet one or twice or quarterly in a year. Yeah, just a lot of things are too sweet. I do use sugar. For example, I made me some chocolate, some homemade chocolate, and I used some sugar, but I don't eat a lot of chocolate nowadays. I think that whenever I have control over, sugar or honey that I use in my cooking, it's a lot healthier than buying a chocolate bar at the store, because they also put some chemicals into it. They put some preservatives, they put some dyes into all of these things. And so it's a whole additional load of chemicals that I don't want to put into my digestive tract. You know what I mean? And hey, I'm also cooking on butter only nowadays. I wish beef tallow was cheaper. I would have probably used tallow. And I'm using olive oil for like salads and this kind of stuff. And I have a way to test if it's real olive oil or if it's not. I put it into the fridge and I look. If it freezes, if it turns solid, that's real olive oil. If it doesn't turn solid, that way I know that it's not real. Yeah, that's a delicacy here. Yeah, catching up on that. You can control yourself from overeating. It's not necessary to avoid all junk food for a while. Well, it's not that here's the thing. It's not that I am like itching for junk food and I really love junk food. I just don't have that pull really. And I come from Moscow, Russia, and all of my life I was used to kind of more or less healthy food. You know, I love to cook soups myself. I'm generally speaking not a big fan of junk food joints and drive-through places. It's just not my thing. I've never been a fan of this. But a good restaurant with good food, and for example, like I went to Nice in France, and they had this all along the Promenade d'Anglais, for example. That's the Côte d'Azur, right? They had there's a whole lot of restaurants, small places, and there was an Italian place, and my French friends got me there, and we had some real Italian lasagna. That's different. It's not a fast food joint. You know what I mean? It's local food made by real local people who know what they're doing. It's traditional stuff. That to me is real food. That I can eat. But the idea of fast food stuff, I know, like sometimes when you're just on the road and you're just dying, you need to eat something. We've been in that situation with my husband several times. You stop for a burger just to kind of eat something at least. But I just don't have a pull for this kind of food, generally speaking. I'm fine. I can go and cook me a soup. I do it all the time. Or I order some buckwheat online from Russian Food USA. There is a site like this where you can buy Russian groceries. I buy some buckwheat. I cook it myself. I cook meat myself. I cook fish myself. I make my salads myself. And that to me is more wholesome and a lot healthier, There's a smart and conscious. Yes, they are. Olivia, we talked about this earlier. Yeah, this is like this dilemma. Yep. I love meat, but they are animals, and I'm living with this. I don't even know how to sort it out really in my head. Shark meat is very oily. I didn't know, actually. Untamed Tyrant. Well, a lot of fresh produce is acquired by big restaurants in US and UK, but some do get in mainland US markets, go for several hundred for a pound, several $100s for a pound. Wow. Falcon Guy, nowadays all are processed food, which you can't control. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I can't control, so I kind of constantly have to look at labels and do my research and compare and all of this. I'm trying to do my best. It can't be perfect. Jeremy says, just look, shark can be called flake, dogfish, grayfish, and whitefish. I don't know in the States, but olive oil is quite cheap. In the States, I guess there is a lot of oils that they process in, gosh, they treat them with chemicals and they bleach them and they do all of these horrible things. And it ends up being a sludge, which is really not much different than machine oil. So, but European producers, like Greek olive oil or Italian, Spanish olive oils, Palestine, Moroccan olive oils, they are like 100% real, natural, all organic. There's a huge difference. And I just don't want to go in there, but it's a huge topic. Jeremy says living in France. I don't know in the States, but olive oil is quite cheap. Well, yeah. Oh, so you're Jeremy. Okay, Jeremy. D'accord. So you're living in France. You know, as a European, that it kind of has to be quite cheap. Patrick says, I enjoy cooking, and the best olive oil I know actually comes from Greece. There you go. And I have Greek friends who own restaurants. Oh, when I move to Greece, I'll be asking you, what exact restaurants? I'd like to go and meet your friends. Falcon Guy says, yeah, food with proper hygiene and with good taste. Yep. Olivia says, yay, food is the central mystery of life. Yeah, at least it's one of the biggest mysteries of life. Things are so difficult nowadays in modern times, isn't it? I hate to be one of those people sitting here and being like, I hate to sound as if I'm a very old person. I'm not an old person. I'm a millennial. But here I am sitting and talking like, well, it probably used to be better in the good old days when there was less processing of foods, less chemicals and artificial flavorings and artificial dyes that is bad for you in all of these things. It just makes me realize how unhealthy we are, generally speaking, nowadays. And I don't know if anybody ever is going to do anything, because apparently having a whole lot of unhealthy, sick people, that's an industry also. And that's one of the ugly elements of modern world, Much cheaper to cook than to buy all-made food in France. There you go. You understand me. I share the conundrum. Yeah, you understand me. Jeremy was a bit, I think that apples, that applies to all of Europe. Yeah. I used to eat fish twice or thrice in a week. I also love fish nowadays, but initially not. Well, I'm a great fan of fish. Ben Moore says, be careful with real olive oil. Check the dates. Keep it fresh. I'm trying to keep an eye on that, yes. I'm new here. Hi, guys. Hi to you, Ben Moore. Olivia says, petrochemical agriculture. Yes, Olivia, you know about it. Isn't that horrifying? Freshwater fish taste more tasty than from a supermarket fish. Absolutely, I believe so. North of Lyon. Guys, follow each other. Have conversations, please. I have some wonderful people here. And I usually encourage people to communicate. I'd love to live almost anywhere in Europe. Olivia, I'll be moving to Greece. I've talked about this again to my husband today. As we're going through all of these things with kind of recovering my Russian citizenship, I think long-term, I will be moving to Greece. Let's all move to Europe. I don't know. Those of us who are really not happy with living in the United States for whatever reason. Well, I guess, gosh, I forgot your handle. I don't know your name. The gentleman from Alaska, Untamed Tyrant. I guess it's hard to live in Alaska because of how cold it is, but you guys probably have access to, things that mainland Americans just don't have, and you probably have some healthier food there. Olivia said about hidden sugar in so many foods. Yes, that too. What about Norway? I love Norway a lot. I guess I'm not a northerner. I like the south. I like just a warm climate. I'm from Moscow, and I suffered most of my life. Every time it's winter, since I was a little kid, I got frostbitten several times. I guess I just don't have the build for the north. Yes, I love the snow, but temperatures like minus 25, minus 30 centigrade, that's a little too much. And then the darkness, the seasonal darkness, these short days further up north is just very difficult for me. It's always been very difficult for me. So Greece seems wonderful. I'm jealous. Nice. I'd love to live almost anywhere in Europe. I'm jealous. Yes. What about Norway? But Norway is beautiful too. There's a lot of places in the world that are just amazing. It's just that kind of moving and living there, that's a whole different story from just going on a tourist trip. A tourist trip is one thing, living is different. I loved southwest of Greece, not too touristic, very nice and cheap. She needs to thaw out. Olivia says, Northern Lights, it's my dream to see. I'd love to see the Northern Lights too. Frankly, I've never seen them. I believe you can see the Northern Lights in St. Petersburg in Russia, but there are other places in the world where you can see them too. Olivia says, I get it. Ben Moore says, minus 30 centigrade is skiing weather, lol. I hate it too now, though. Ben Moore, yeah. I think I had enough of minus 30 centigrade in my lifetime. I mean, some people love colder weather and they just prefer, northern climate. People are different. To each their own. And that's what it is. 42 centigrade this summer. Wasn't that fun either? And I will agree with you. While I'm raving here about the southern climate, and I'm literally living here in Kentucky, I'm living exactly on the same latitude where Athens is in Greece. So it's like the same latitude exactly. 42 degrees or even 32, 33 centigrade, that's a little too much for me too. It's hard to think at such temperatures. What about 50 centigrade? Come to India. Oh my God. 50 centigrade. Gosh, that's wild. Just 42 is wild. That's bad. Like 50 is like, what are you getting roasted there alive or something? How do you deal with 50 centigrade in India? Tell me, what do you do at such temperatures? Gosh, this is wild. Pardon me, guys. I woke up today at 7:30 in the morning. That's atrociously early for me. We had to go to a local vet to neuter one of the boys, one of the cats. And I slept only for 2 hours. And then we returned and I had a nap for another 3 hours. And then I woke up again. And I'm still kind of a little groggy, I guess. I already told you in your previous stream. Oh, right. So that was you. Okay. Gosh, pardon me. So many things happened this 1 week. And yeah, I think I'm just built different than medieval camping at minus 18 centigrade. That's where I feel at home. Yeah, Patrick, you're built different. You probably have a build of a northerner. And frankly, people are indeed, I mean, all jokes aside, people are really built different. Some people just, they have the way their body process proteins and fats and, calorie intake and output and all of this, and the way, the body manages energy resources is different. People are really very different in that regard. We're all very similar and we're all very different. And just how things are. I am very vulnerable to cold. And that's why I got, my hands got frostbitten when I was 12 years old, unfortunately. And my feet too, and the soles of my feet are frostbitten multiple times. It's horrible. So whenever it gets really cold, my fingers are gone. They just go white. My palms go white. I don't feel anything. Same happens to my soles of my feet. They just go white. You just don't feel anything even. And it's dangerous because if I don't dress warm enough, then that means that first it starts out with this just, I don't feel anything. Then next thing you know, with these hands and feet that don't feel anything, you can lose them. That's a real thing. So you got to watch out for it. I usually start sweating when the temperature is 22 to 23 centigrade. And I don't. That's the bizarre thing. My husband, too, he starts sweating when it's around 22, 23. And he's like, gosh, it's so hot. I need the fan. How can you deal with this? And I'm fine. I'm fine actually up until 27, 28 degrees centigrade. I'm fine. But my body temperature is, the standard, as far as I know, over there in Europe is 36.6 degrees centigrade human temperature. My standard is 35.5. And that is because I naturally have very low blood pressure, slow heart rate, and my body generally is a little cooler. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe I just start sweating at higher temperatures because of this. I don't know. Maybe it's a genetic factor. Maybe it's just a different build. And I'm mix of northern and western. Mixed can survive in 50 centigrade as well as minus 10 centigrade. Gosh, guys, this is wild. Oh gosh. I suffer from temperatures above 30 centigrade. I can still do stuff at over 30. I can still, do things. Yes, it's harder and I get lazier and it's hard to think, but I can do things. My husband can't. He's just like, I can't breathe. I can't, he can't. Ben Moore says, I used to prefer the cold until one afternoon in Shanghai, 42 centigrade, and my body switched. I like hot no. Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, and there's probably a lot of science to this. I just don't know all of it. It's pretty interesting stuff, I gotta say. Olivia, thank you very much for showing up. Patrick, I'm very happy to see you on this live stream. And Ben Moore too, thank you for showing up, everybody. Gosh, I'm a little... Jeremy says, if you visit France, avoid the Costa Riviera tourist trap. You would love Dordogne. Perfect weather, beautiful middle-aged villages everywhere, great food. Well, I'll keep that in mind. Jeremy, I've been to France once. I've been to Nice. I had friends there, some French friends who invited me. And that was my limited experience. I didn't travel throughout France, but I'd like to. So I think I came across Dordogne, this name, but I can't remember. Just my knowledge of geography, of French geography, is not that good. As per me, most pleasant temperature will be 20-25 with nice breeze. Yeah, it is, sort of. I agree. This is fun, Ben Moore says. Patrick says it also has a lot to do with humidity. Oh yeah, that factor too. And that's, again, the other factor. Here in Kentucky, when it gets in summer and in spring, it gets very humid. And I love it. Somehow, I can't even explain this. My skin loves it. My hair love it. My nails love it. I just feel kind of better, and my husband, he hates it. My husband is from New York State originally. And I'm from Moscow. And I'm like, I can't even explain this because on the one hand, historically, I'm from further north, from a completely different country. But it seems that my body just loves the humid southern climate. Of course, when it gets too heavy, when it's like too hot, yes, it becomes hard to breathe, But generally speaking, my body likes the humidity. That's just what it is. Moscow is a lot less humid. It's to my skin, like when I lived back in Moscow, I had to use creams, lotions every frigging day because it's so dry. And it doesn't matter if it's summer or it's winter, those dry days, there's just a lot of them. Maybe it's because it's the big city. I don't know. Maybe there's that factor too. I don't know. 2025, Portland, and tons of rain. My wife homeland. Oh, so your wife's homeland. Okay. Tons of rain. Yeah, it's probably very humid there. You won't believe right now in Kolkata temperature is 18 centigrade, but humidity is 79. Well, that's actually not bad. 18 centigrade and humidity 79. That's pretty fine, I think. We've had, here in Kentucky, we had this summer humidity like 95%, 97%. And I'm feeling great. And my husband is like sweating. He's like, I don't know what to do. I just, blah, blah, blah. He puts 2 fans in front of him to blow directly into him, on him to somehow offset this humidity. And I'm feeling okay. I'm like, okay, 95% humidity. Okay. My hair are losing the frizz when it's 95 humidity. I'm good. My skin is well hydrated all of a sudden. And just it feels like my body sort of opens up to humidity. I don't know. I'm a dumb American, can't relate to Celsius. Okay, so 18 centigrade, that should be about, I don't know, about 70 Fahrenheit, I believe. I don't know, I'm just kind of winging it. American can't stand heat. Yeah, I guess so, I don't know. In night, it's 79, but in days, it's reached to 90, 95. He feels like exhausted. Well, 95% humidity, that's good for me. I feel good. Ben Moore, minus 40 equals minus 40 Fahrenheit. That's true. Excuse me. So 32 Fahrenheit equals 0 Celsius. And I know, yeah, Olivia, there is a formula. I never use the formula. I just sort of memorize more or less. Like 90 degrees Fahrenheit, that would be 32 degrees centigrade, something around that. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 38 centigrade equals 100 Fahrenheit. Yep. The temperature here is currently 8 centigrade, which is 46, and the humidity is 91%. Okay, we actually today had roughly, what? Almost 50 Fahrenheit, which would be almost 10 degrees centigrade. Today was a warm day, now it's getting cooler again. But it was a pleasant day with some sunshine. Thank you for the hearts, guys. Now you guys are discussing the Celsius and Fahrenheit, yeah. Gosh, it turned out to be a very fun live stream. But I was going on for an hour and almost 20 minutes. So a week from now, what is it going to be? Is it going to be Christmas Eve next Wednesday? If today is the 17th, then a week from now, it's going to be, yeah, it's going to be 24th. God damn it. I think I should be kind of wrapping up this stream. Olivia, I really appreciate that you've shown up. Thank you very much. Patrick, thank you very much. And Jeremy, thank you. Thank you, everybody who was hanging out here with me and having this lovely conversation. And the gentleman from Alaska, thank you. Is this electronic smoking? Yeah, it's one of those things. I talked about it on the last live stream, and people were asking me about this. I've been a smoker since I was 12 years old, and I quit smoking much later in life when I was, I don't know how old I was. It was in 2017. And so this helped me to get off cigarettes. And I'm gradually getting off of this, not advertising this, not promoting this to anyone. See you soon, Olivia. And tell me how you like the print. All right? Nice to meet you, gorgeous. Thank you, Ben Moore. I appreciate having you here. Patrick, for the past few days, I've been working outside in a t-shirt in this weather. Gosh, Patrick, you're brutal. That's what I would think of as of a kind of a northerner, sort of a northern European kind of Viking type. I think you remind me of a Viking type very much. Jérémy says good evening. Bonne nuit à toi, Jérémy. Merci beaucoup pour. Gosh, my French is so rusty. Pour mon visiteurs aussi sur mon live stream. J'apprécie beaucoup ton présence. I'm just trying to pull from whatever. So is it nicotinized? Yes. Yes. Nicotine is an addictive chemical, and I've been addicted to nicotine since I was 12 years old, unfortunately. But that's the only thing that I'm perhaps addicted to. I don't drink alcohol, and I'm fine with everything else. Jeremy says, great job. Thank you. Thank you. Daddy the Fly says, my Finnish jeans. Oh, I guess so. Yeah. Guys, I'll be wrapping this up. Thank you, everybody. Merci beaucoup. Danke schön. That's what I know in German. I don't know anything else in German, frankly. Спасибо огромное всем, что появились. That's in Russian. Thank you very much, guys. And I don't know, I will try to show up next week on Wednesday, on Christmas Eve at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll try to have another live stream. I'll probably keep it short for just 1 hour, but if you want to show up, if you feel like it, I'll be probably here. All right. Well, with that being said, bye-bye, everybody, and have a wonderful night and time of your day. Ciao. Have a great day ahead, or maybe it's night for you. Stay safe and stay well. Thank you. Thank you. Have a nice week too, Patrick. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everybody.